All right, Chris, this next one, number 6, would on also a typical week be a number 1 story on our show. It's buried here. The dream of a new Killzone may just be dead. Killzone.com, the official news, statistics, and forums hub for Killzone for the last 15 years, is no longer in operation. When you go to the site now, it says in part, quote, the official website for the Killzone franchise has retired. While this change doesn't affect the online multiplayer modes, player statistics, or ranking data for Killzone Mercenary and Killzone Shadowfall, it is now no longer possible to create or manage clans in Killzone Shadowfall. We apologize for this inconvenience. Thank you to Killzone.com's many fans and visitors throughout the years for their enthusiasm and support. Sincerely, Gorilla. End quote. Killzone.com will soon shuffle people to PlayStation.com automatically. Guerrilla Games' Killzone was at one time conceived and positioned to be a marquee FPS franchise for Sony, and Sony acquired the team outright in 2005. The original Killzone launched on PS2 in late 2004 and was followed by Killzone Mercenary on PSP in 2006 and Killzone 3 on PlayStation 3 in 2009. Killzone 2 on PlayStation 3 in 2009. Killzone 3 came to PS3 in 2011, and Killzone Shadowfall was a PS4 launch title in 2013. Since then, the series has been dormant, and any speculation of a revival now seems to be misguided. James Schubert wrote into us on Patreon, and by the way, his name on Patreon is James Schubert in all caps. So James Schubert wrote into us and said, gentlemen, with regards to the closure of the Killzone website, are Guerrilla done with this franchise, or is this a roundabout way of finding out what the appetite is for the next installment? You have to imagine if they're testing the waters, they haven't even started production. Thanks for the great content. Night shift on an oil rig in a cold North Sea is easier with you guys keeping me company. Yeah, stay safe out there, James, and make all that money because you have one of the most lucrative jobs, I think, in blue-collar work in the world. But stay safe. All right, James asks what the future of Killzone is. What does this say? Chris?
It's dead. I think it's dead.
Dead zone.
Yeah. You don't kill the website for a flagship IP if you're testing the waters. Like, it just doesn't... That doesn't happen. But I think, despite this, that's super, like, even though this is, like, super disappointing to a lot of people who, like, might have been into Killzone, I kind of expected this kind of thing coming. Killzone was never really... When people think of, like, the best first-person shooters, Killzone just never shows up on any of those lists. As good as Shadowfall was, it just never shows up on those lists. And I think... internally, probably Sony was like, all right, we need an FPS, but like maybe this isn't the one. But that's what's kind of interesting about this is we know Guerrilla's working on isn't just working on Horizon. We know that they've hired people from what is it, the Rainbow Six team?
Yeah, the Siege. Yeah, I think the director of the Siege team.
Yeah, I think this pretty much confirms in my mind, like this is the most confirmation we're going to get that there probably is a SOCOM in the works at Guerrilla. Like the fact that they were just like, hey, we're hiring people to make an FPS, but Killzone is dead. Like what else? What are you doing? Like I can't fathom what else they could possibly be up to.
Yeah, I know that some people would be disappointed because it would move SOCOM to first person, I guess. But that's what you need to do. I mean, this is what I was saying to someone. That's kind of what you need to do in this space now, right? Like Rainbow Six Siege, if that's what you're competing with SOCOM, for instance, that's a first person game. And you hire talent from studios like that to proliferate that. Plus, you have experience internally in first person. Well, I'm sure plenty of people that worked on Killzone are still there. You're right. This is two sides of a coin. If you're a Killzone fan, this is bad news for you. I don't think Killzone's dead forever, but it's dead for now. And I don't know, because in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe I don't think they're testing the waters, but I was like, maybe they're just taking it offline and then they'll bounce back with a Killzone.com in the future. But the other thing is that if that's not true, then what you're saying is true. Then it just opens up that extra slot. Now, it might not be SOCOM, but it could be something else, but it's not Killzone. Now we know that. So when we're kind of hypothesizing about what Guerrilla is doing, we have a really key piece of information now to work with that I think is very important. So it is a surprising piece of news, but maybe not that surprising, like you said. Killzone has been waning for a long time. It's been almost 8 years, 7.5 years since a new Killzone game. They haven't said a word about Killzone. The studio that makes Killzone has moved on to something else that is much more popular. So,
yeah,
it is sad. I mean, Killzone is a part of PlayStation's heritage, but nothing lasts forever. And we've said ad nauseum on the show, Chris, we would rather have Resistance back. And I really do think that only one of those can live anyway. So,
yeah.
So, hey, the Killzone closure combined with Insomniac's constant teasing of Resistance might be something interesting too.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.